Let's go.
Hi, this is Rich, and welcome to my blog and Ogvila's blog. We're going to talk about the fate of the world.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the fate of the world?
Well, how we got here. Yeah. There's a theory, a story going around on the internet, started a few years back, about how uh, beings from the future have come back like 100,000 or 200,000 years back into their past because they're where they live in the future is like totally fucked up for humanity. It's total control and domination, and they want to fix it. And they have time travel, and so they figured the nexus point or that place they got to go back to is our 20 2020 or I could probably the last 20 or 30 year span, this point in their history is when shit started going sideways really bad.
Mm.
And if they want to fix it, they got to come back this far, over 100,000 years, to tweak it. And so that's a theory.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good plan, but I don't think it's fucking working.
Why is that?
I look at what's going on in the world right now, and there's just a lot of evil, darkness, the super rich power leader running things. And humanity, the people, have to rise up and do something about it. And there's a lot going on that, a lot of people are learning about what's going on in the world. They're waking up to what's going on, who the bad guys are. But are we doing it fast enough? And I'd like to talk about that. Well, if it's going to get better, what do we have to do? And are we doing any of that right now? And we started out, I was asking on Vila off camera, and I said, hey, let's make a video. And so what was the question? What do you think needs to be done for humanity to turn it around so that in 100,000 years from now, we're not a controlled and dominated race, a total slave race?
Well, the thing, we have movies like Matrix, They Live, Terminator, pretty much show us what to expect in the future, except like a self-disclosure, and you sort of get an idea like, oh, so that's what they're planning, and what do we need to do? And each and every one of us is the Neo, the one who can do everything. And I believe that the main thing is for us probably just sharing information about what's going on in the world, so that more people would wake up and know what's happening, and so that after that they're able to stand up for themselves and do something. Like if all of a sudden people imagine the whole humanity refusing to pay taxes because taxation is theft. Okay, like we're not paying anymore. What if the whole humanity at some point says no more meat, no more dairy products? Everyone who's like making money from that will go bankrupt. No more Monsanto and stuff like so. I believe if people would wake up and like sort of start taking action and just uniting and becoming like one mass who thinks like together and goes against the government, I think that would be the thing. And right now, you and I and more people are like, Wes Penry, David Icke, everyone is like talking about what's going on in the world. We're trying to raise the awareness, like, oh look, 5G is coming up, like, or maybe Epstein didn't kill himself, or maybe like look at the Democrats, they're like trying to impeach Trump, and like it's just like it's all fake and bullshit, and like all of those things. But as long as people stop falling for the like fake news and like disinformation to make believe that like oh, whatever the mainstream media is saying is truth, like if we were to turn it upside down and be the ones that like start talking about what's going on for real, I think that would be the turning point.
Okay.
These are just my thoughts.
Yeah. So it's kind of like we know what to do. Like what the things you were saying, because good to do. I'm on board with that. What I'm talking about is that happening? And if not, when will it happen? If it's sort of happening, it's kind of happening. Is it happening enough? Because I get pessimistic once in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
You pessimistic?
Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? The Democrats are trying to preach the best president we ever fucking had. And it appears to be a battle in Congress and the Senate. And that's it. The people are not doing a fucking thing about it. I mean, in the big picture, I mean, you've got your alternative news and alternative information sources on YouTube and different websites and stuff, but it's completely unorganized. I mean, people are really passionate and they're sharing their stuff, and there's great alternative news channels and sources on what's going on behind the scenes, but none of the social media or the mainstream media is fucking helping.
Yeah.
And we were having a hard time of it before mainstream media and social media started censoring and doing all this fake news shit. It was hard enough then. And still, people were waking up. People are waking up. I get that. And we're waking up and we're becoming more conscious. But is it enough, people? And let's just say, yeah, it's enough. And we're moving in the right direction. Well, what happens next? Do we just keep sharing the information and getting censored and banned on fucking YouTube and all these places? I'm just not feeling it today. It's like this place is pretty much fucking doomed. You look at China, how many people are there, and how much control the government has, and how dark it is. It's not for the people, not that I can see.
Yeah.
And they're just like closing it in. And in America right now, if it wasn't for Trump and some of those very vocal Republican people and Republicans in the Congress and all that, weren't for them, Hillary would be running the fucking show, or they would have impeached Trump, and then they would have already taken the fuck over. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are we stopping them? And what we are doing now, is that enough? Or is it, I see the French people are with their yellow vest thing. They're doing what they can. But I don't see people in America. I'm a 60s and 70s guy. I was in high school and in the military back in those days. And they had these big peace marches and demonstrations and big group rallies and gatherings the people's voice was pushed upon the government. That doesn't fucking happen anymore. Anytime you get some good people gathering together, you get these Antifa thugs coming in, beating the shit out of people with fucking baseball bats.
Well, this is sort of similar with the New Age movement. We talk about, New Age, better information, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is that, for example, Deep State or so, the dark side puts their puppets and they're sharing information, like maybe 90% is true, but that 10% of lies will be enough to deceive people. And now the whole New Age movement is considered really bad because people from the inside fucked it up. And same thing with you look at lots of countries where they have all these things happening. You try to make this peace movement, and the government will have their own little groups inside all those communities to mess it up.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard.
It reminds me of that strategy. It's that the Illuminati or the Freemasons or the just Ashkenazis,
yeah.
Or the cabal.
Yeah.
It's a technique they use is they'll target an organization or a company or a corporation or just a subject of great interest to humanity, like education or medicine. But what they will do is they will infiltrate. They'll get their people in it, and then they'll hijack it. They have enough money and power and influence that they'll get into, let's say, the American Medical Association, or the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, which all they got to do is get their people in there, the deep state people or corrupt fucking humans, whatever you want to call these people. But it's their people, and they get... Once they're in, they get them in powerful positions, And now there's enough people in powerful positions in the FDA, in the AMA, in the World Health Organization, whatever it happens to be. They get enough people in there. Now they can hijack the motherfucker, own it and run it. Like the Red Cross. I found out like 20 or 30 years ago that the Red Cross was a corrupt motherfucker. And they're everywhere in the world. And now more and more people know what the Red Cross is about. You know, they run in there where it's a war-torn country, and then they start, you know, fucking, it just gets disgusting. The human trafficking, the blood, you know, gathering blood, you know, some tragedy in some Eastern European country that's war-torn or the Mideast, and blood everywhere, poor children dying. And the bleeding heart Americans, ignorant, are pouring their money into just giving the money to the Red Cross. They take our fucking money and they use it for their human trafficking, child trafficking, and stealing our fucking blood. They have these blood drives. They're fucking vampire motherfuckers, and I am serious. They use this, and all this adrenochrome shit going down, human trafficking, body parts, not to mention the weapons and the drugs in a war-torn country. And that's like the Red Cross. Infiltrate, hijack, and consolidate. Consolidate the whole organization within their evil web of world domination and control. And I'm very aware of that shit. There's a whole book on the Jesuit movement.
Yeah.
Vatican Assassins, it's called. I have a big fat book that's like this. And it's all about the Jesuit order and what an evil bunch of fucking motherfuckers they are. And they're preaching Jesus and God and love and all that stuff. And in the meantime, they're infiltrating, hijacking, and consolidating into their organization. So you got all these evil, bad fucking organizations or groups or families. You got they call it the black nobility. And it's not just one noble family, a royalty that are black and, in other words, dark and evil and corrupt. No, it's a label for all the different evil, black, dark, fucking corrupt, rich, super rich power elite, billionaire families and royalty lines of royalty that go back for hundreds and hundreds of years. And there's a lot of those, right? And so you get one of these evil fucking groups eyeballing another one, infiltrate, hijack, and consolidate. And so it keeps growing and growing and growing. This whole thing. This is what the Rothschilds have done.
Yeah.
They marry into the other family, and then they consolidate that way in the bloodline. The grandson ends up after these fuckers die. These two different royal families, they're fucking dead. But now the grandson inherits both of these. That's consolidation. And they just do it one way and another. And they're organized, they're structured, they're powerful, they're smart. They got high tech, and they got a lot of fucking money. And so we, the people, need to be doing something about this. And what are we fucking doing? We got our fucking YouTube channels, our Twitter fucking accounts. What the fuck? And we're so fucking organized. No. And in the meantime, these dark fucking forces all over the fucking place, mainstream media is just dumping, using high-tech propaganda techniques to mind control and mind fuck, deceive and manipulate the masses.
Yeah.
And they pound on the people with the alternative news sources with fact-checking. And those fact-checking things are a bunch of fucking lies. What's it? Is Snopes or something like that? It's a big fact-checking site. It's one fucking corrupt motherfucker pretending to be an organization. It's just bullshit. So the mainstream people who listen to mainstream media, they're already programmed to not listen to alternative media sources. They've been programmed to hate Trump and think he's a fucking racist and whatever the fuck else. And they're like really going to town on this thing.
Yeah.
And what are we doing? What can we do? I get frustrated about it. I stopped making YouTube videos about the subject because I don't want to get my fucking video, my channel banned. But the fuck, it used to be 1,500 views a day, no matter what, and now it's like 350, maybe 500 if I make a fucking video every other day. And it's like they're going to fucking town on us. I'm a little upset about it. I want to talk about it. That's why I'm making this video today.
Okay. So do you think it's already too late? Like, you know, if we from the future wanted to come to this period of time and change things up, do you think it's already too late because of what's going on, or do we still have a chance?
Yes, too fucking late. We blew it. I got that out of my system. But yeah, it's like, okay, like we really fucked it up. I mean, we had a chance to do something and it didn't happen. You know, the thing we were doing in the 60s and 70s, you know, the college kids were not programmed to be fucking socialists back then.
Yeah.
They weren't programmed to think socialism is a good fucking idea. And in the meantime, back then, the director of the fucking CIA was George W. Bush, Sr. He was director of CIA running fucking drugs through the CIA out of fucking Vietnam during the Vietnam War. So he ends up fucking president. They assassinated Kennedy when I was in 7th or 8th grade. And they just, this dark side of the CIA has just been fucking having a blast fucking with America. Manipulating, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And right now we have a chance to turn it around with Trump and what he knows about 9/11 inside job and all this other corruption. And they're going after Hillary and the Clintons and the Bushes and the Rothschilds. They're going after all these fucking guys. But those motherfuckers are everywhere, totally entrenched. There's fucking billionaires everywhere stepping it up to go after Trump or be on the other side of the fucking game. Where's all the fucking billionaires that are you go Trump?
Dun.
Wow, that's all of them. Yeah. Yeah. Very few. Very fucking few. It's just aggravating as fuck. And I think if I were to step back from it and be spiritual and all metaphysical and love and light, it's all going to work out just fine. The way that would happen would have to do with just everyday people making their YouTube videos or creating their websites, their tweets, their Facebook pages, despite the censorship of the dark side, and just keep plugging away and getting more and more people to awaken to what's really going on.
Yeah.
There's so much evil going on. A new person, it just blow them away. They would deny it. They go, nah, that can't fucking be. That's ridiculous. You're crazy. But we have to just keep doing it because it is that evil on this planet. I could rattle off how fucking evil it is right now, but that wouldn't do any good.
Yeah. Well, I might be naive, but I sort of think that maybe people don't really need the government to win this whole war, because we have people who can get our body, and even then, like, you know, you and I, we've done some of those things where you go to party, I go to party, and like I target DAI, for example, and next day there is some channeling people or Pleiadians reporting, well, we just had major AI taken out, we just had, like, you know, reptilians taken out, and they reported what happened. And I'm not sure, like, you know, whoa, did I really do it? Did I affect it here? Or like, are there like more groups with me who are working for the betterment? And if that's a possibility, I believe there's a lot of people can literally get out of body and make changes in the 4D and like and over here and make the big changes. And maybe at the same time we're the ones where we choose where we want to go. For example, you can read the horoscope and it's like well, today's gonna be fucked up for like this Cancer or Taurus or whatever, and you're like, oh okay, and you accept the reality that today's gonna be a bad day. But you can be like, no, I don't believe that shit, and you will look for every positive little thing that's gonna happen around you, and you can focus on the good stuff. And maybe if we focus on the world getting a better ending, we shift to reality where it ends for the better. That's maybe, but my
Yeah, well, that's a good point. And you've turned me around. I see the lights.
Don't go there.
Yeah, but don't go to it. But no, here's because I can look at the other philosophy. The other philosophy is like this. Let's say you've got somebody that's a very positive person, positive attitude, and maybe they can go out of body and they understand the multiverse. Maybe they don't. It doesn't matter. But they're very positive and they're loving, and they're kind, they're decent, and they're really good with the whole law of attraction thing because they focus on the positive, and they're really on a roll. And they attract the positive stuff and very little to no negative stuff. And they absolutely refuse to look at this world domination thing. They don't know. Maybe they've heard it before. The Illuminati. They don't care. They don't want to know. Get the fuck out of here with that negative shit. Yeah, but the Democrats and the Khazarian mafia and adrenochrome harvesting, child trafficking. No, I don't want to hear any of that. No, get the fuck out of here. I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. And they live a life not knowing any of that shit. And they feel good their whole life. And let's tweak my scenario. Let's say they never heard about it. It's not that they heard about how bad it is and said no. They never heard about it. They never attracted that kind of news into their life. Maybe they live up in the fucking mountains in the Himalayas. Maybe they live in the jungles or the desert or somewhere remote. But they just never heard of it. And so they attract the good stuff in their life. And maybe it's a simple life. They fish for a living. They live in a fishing village. And the whole fucking village is ignorant about what the fuck. But that's not a bad thing. They're just ignoring it. Makes them ignorant. Like, I don't care about that. And that's not a wrong or a bad thing. It's not, hey, Rich, you know how bad it is over in China right now? I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. I'm ignoring that. Makes me ignorant. But, so, so we get a lot of ignorant fucking humans. I may be stupid, but I'm not ignorant. Because I have not ignored that shit. I think I spent too many years not being ignorant. So I think it happened. Because I know how bad it is. The super rich power elite and what they've been doing. And why. And damn. And how they keep the population in the dark and keep us ignorant of what's going on so they can control and dominate and enslave us. And they just keep taking it to the next level. And so the solution to get back on track, what if I didn't know anything about any of that? I might be ignorant, but not necessarily stupid. Retarded maybe, but not stupid. There's a difference. And then when you get older, most people, depending on how old they get before they die, their brain starts rotting. Their brain stops working properly. Usually, like somebody that's 110 years old, something's going to start failing in their physical system. And their memory can start going, and their ability to process information starts slipping. So that's not either ignorant or stupid or retarded. That's It's something else altogether.
But then, like, we have people, or we used to have people like Jacques Fresco. He lived up to 101, I believe, and he knew about what's going on in the world. He was like working on the Zeitgeist movies and exposing what's up, but he also gave the alternative of a Venus project and a better reality if people accepted a certain mindset and started working for a different kind of goal. And I believe that if more people were willing to change up for that kind of system, and I might be naive, like I haven't been that like reincarnated here too much, or like haven't been messed up that much, and I haven't lived long enough to get messed over, enough times to like, I'm still like naive and like, oh yeah, it's really bad now, but I believe we have a chance. Like that's me. Like.
No, I believe we have a fucking chance. What's that chance again? What? Are they the friendly space aliens going to come down and save us?
No. I mean, they're
I used to believe in that
they're
shit.
working, but I don't think we're gonna have like Galactic Federation of Flat or whatever coming over and saving us all. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah, I used to be into that whole Sananda, Ashtar Command.
Mm.
It was the space, the Jesus space fucking space thing, Armada or some shit. Yeah. Commander in Chief was Jesus, also known as Sananda. And then we have Saint Germain and Gabriel and Michael and all these wonder angels fighting the good fight. And I'm not saying that ain't happening, but I'm not saying it is. But I was all into this Sheldon Niddle, Nidle. He wrote a book about the ground crew, on how we're going to help the aliens that are helping us. I was really into that in the fucking 90s. Oh. The photon belt, the whole planet's going, our solar system is moving into this photon belt. And since then, we got other bullshit from NASA and telescopes and stuff about the electromagnetic field radiation of this part of the sector of the galaxy. I'm not saying it ain't happening, but you don't want to get into a big, long discussion with a flat earther about it. And yeah, what about that? That flat earth thing? Because it looks fucking flat to me. There's something going on with that whole flat earth thing that I'm not getting. Oh, it's a distraction. Well, what the fuck isn't a distraction? Right now, you and I, if people watching our videos, a fucking distraction. But from what?
Watching NFL or hockey games and like drinking beer.
My argument about this, that's a distraction. It doesn't matter what they're fucking pointing at. They're saying, it's a distraction. From what, bitch? Everything can distract you from everything else. So what people are using the word, and that's a distraction, is that they have a thing that they believe is the most important thing to be learning and doing or being or, having some shit like that. That's what they're supposed to be. That's what they believe is the thing. And if you're doing something else, that is a distraction. So when this whole thing about the flat earth, argument or question came back into being, and people getting out there with their surveying equipment, and I mean some serious fucking engineers and surveyors and people that are going to do it by the fucking book. And you can watch their videos on YouTube, unless they're censored and kicked off the fucking YouTube. But you go, yeah, damn, that shit ain't curving. With their laser stuff and their line of sight, the radio shit, the radio beams, and just documented shit from fucking forever. Yeah. It's going, that's looking flat, motherfucker. But yet there's so much other conflicting information, you can't just go, yep, flat as fuck. No. I can't say it's flat and jump on board with now it's that fucking dome over there, and all that shit out there is just a hologram or a projection. Those aren't really stars. Well, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't fucking know. You know, how prove that? I believe it's possible because I do believe in this whole thing about this whole damn fucking deal is a simulation, a matrix universe created by, you know, the thought and stuff. Anyway, I cut you off.
No, it's okay.
All
I
right.
just like wanted to know, like, okay, what would happen? Like, for example, you still are between, like, you don't know what the shape of Earth is, but what happens if you have all the facts and from now on the Earth is flat? How does your reality change?
If it was flat,
Mm.
if it is flat,
Yeah.
yeah.
How does your life change because of that?
Yeah.
You're still walking on the same ground, going to the same job, doing your daily things, and okay, Earth is flat. We're still doing the same shit every day we did.
Well, if I got a round globe Earth, uh, globular, I won't fall off.
Oh, well,
If it's fucking flat, you know, I got two options. It's flattened forever, or it's flat and eventually stops somewhere. It might fall off.
Don't walk too far.
It's fucked up, man. But that gets back to the whole. What if Earth is this dimensional plane? It's just like any other astral plane. They're planes. They're not planets. They don't call them astral planets. They call them planes because they're planar. They're flat. Emmanuel Swedenborg did this shit. You know the story, but I'm sort of talking to you. Hi, you guys still here? What the fuck are you doing here? We're a distraction. You know, you should be doing something important. Yeah, get an education. Go to fucking college. Yeah, see how that works for you. Anyway, what the fuck? Oh yeah, Emmanuel Swedenborg, a psychic, scientist, researcher, mathematician, real fucking genius. But he decided, this is back in the 1800s, 1600s, I don't know, somewhere back there. He decided to explore the metaphysical aspect of life because he can go out of body easily and a lot.
Mm.
So he did a whole exploration of the hell realms, the hellish realms, because he could focus in and just go there. I'm sure you could too, and a lot of people can. But yeah, it was just flat, and he would just flat, fucking flat. I mean, you know, there's mountains and volcanoes. You're classic. You know, everybody's got that. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, he checked it out, and it's just flat as fuck. It's a plane. What if this world is just one more astral plane? I don't call them astral planes. I call them belief system territories, but they're flat realms. Okay, but that's a what if? It's speculation.
Yeah.
I mean, they might look that way, and they might behave that way, but you know, what is truth? So there's that. I like the globe Earth sort of thing, from the idea of
Water?
Hmm?
Water droplet?
Yeah, the water droplet thing, and the whole physics model of what is observable in physics.
Yeah.
And whether you have mercury, heavy liquid metal on your table, or you have a water droplet, it's gonna kind of coalesce and have a membrane outside it. Now, you're not going to have a round um, globular thing of mercury unless you're in a no gravity situation. But then it will coalesce in a round thing. Cellular structures are round, globular. So it makes sense that microcosm, macrocosm, if you look at a cell, or a water droplet in a no gravity situation, it's going to be round. Well, that's the nature of the physics and the atomic particles or whatever the fuck. So that would be the nature of the Earth. Makes perfect sense. And It makes perfect sense. The sun would be the same, and if the sun is a star, then the rest of them would be round by nature of the same laws of physics. So I go, yeah, Earth is a fucking globe. But is this the real Earth? That would be the next question. This could easily, I've been trying to figure this one out too. This could be an asteroid. Earth could be an asteroid of a really big planet or globe, of which got blown up.
Yeah.
And this is just a chunk. And the chunk is this much of a big, huge globe. And so because of the perspective, measuring a light, a laser light across a flat lake, even if it's 45 miles across or 150 miles, and you're doing these tests for the flat, the curvature could be so minuscule that it's unnoticeable from the instrumentation because they don't understand the scale that they're dealing with. So it looks flat only because they're not seeing the huge scale. So hell, it could be that. If it's all speculation, who cares? Right?
Yeah.
I kind of care because I think we're being, whatever we are, we're kind of imprisoned on this, whatever the fuck we're on. I mean, the powers that be that are running this place, they don't want us to know about real space, if there is such a thing, and I do believe there is. Our rocket ships to the fucking moon, that is so fucking lame. We had rockets, 2,000 years ago in China? You shove something that explodes into a tube, and you put a point on the end of it, and you light the bitch. 2,000 years later, that's all we got? That's a fucking bullshit ripoff, motherfucker. NASA lies like a motherfucker. You can't believe anything they fucking say. You know this, but the Challenger space shuttle that blew the fuck up, those fucking astronauts were on there. They showed up years later as lawyers and professors, and some of them didn't even change their fucking names. And they have very distinctive features. You can't, that's that guy 20 years later. Same fucking name. NASA fucking lies like a motherfucker. And so now we're into the secret space program and the secret space program. And then we got the CIA, Black Ops, and Skunk Works, and all this corrupt, evil shit while they're trafficking humans and children and harvesting adrenochrome from the children through torture, and these super rich power elite are drinking the fucking... They're just doing all this evil fucking shit. And mainstream population is... No. And And the mainstream media has just gotten absolutely fucking bold about their lying and bullshit. They'll start a rumor. They'll tell a blatant lie about somebody because they can get away with it. And that changes the opinion of the people who might be voting for that person or not voting for that person. Just blatant fucking lies. And they know that they know the technique, the strategy, the psychological technique for getting people to believe shit. Repetition. And that's just one strategy. Hearing that thing repeated from authority, somebody in an authoritative position, like a congressman, or a mayor, or a governor, or a police chief. Deep state, bad guy. Repetition. You hear all this stuff in the mainstream going, doo-doo. Oh yeah, I heard on the news today. And we don't hear anything about what really is important anymore, about what's going on in the news.
America?
In America, to be clear.
Yeah, just make it clear.
Yeah.
So, to cover the whole thing, do you think we have a chance, or like, what's the fate of humanity?
Let me spin a. This could be the part two, but what I think would need to happen, and maybe it is happening, is people keep waking up. People keep making videos that share this sort of information to trigger people into looking for themselves. And then they can do their research. And good luck on the internet nowadays. It used to be easy to do honest research. Now it's, the bad boys are making it more difficult to do good research. And you'll have conflicting, fake research, fake authorities telling lies to the population. So, but the idea would be to have more and more people wake up and see the need to change government. I don't personally think you can just ignore government and it's all going to go away, because the government, it's a broad term, but basically those few that govern the many, most of that's corrupt, and it's the dark side that's controlling things, and they will continue to govern or control the population, and they know how to do it just little bit by little bit. Keep instilling laws and legislation, regulations to take away our freedoms. And they have like a long year plan, a 30-year plan, a 100-year plan, a 100,000-year plan to control and dominate the world. So, humanity. So what we have to do is understand that there is corruption, serious corruption in government. It doesn't really matter. Pick a country. I'm not saying every country has a corrupt government. I think there's a few here and there that are not corrupt, generally speaking. But the populations of the government of the land need to be more responsible and more effective at learning who they're putting into power or allowing to be into power. And if the bad guys are in power, they need to learn that they are the bad guys and then figure out some strategies for taking them out of power. Generally speaking, that's how I think it's going to have to go. And I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing it happen in America. The last election, the American people voted, and the Democrats won the House of Representatives. In other words, they got control. Now, I believe that the Democrats, there's a lot of voter fraud. And it's quite possible that the Republicans would have won control of the House of Representatives in the last election if there wasn't corruption and cheating in the voting booths, so to speak, voter fraud. But when you have a nation that is so close, half of our fucking nation, Trump won by this, just a little bit. That's telling me that not that many people in America were aware of how corrupt the Democratic Party was and is, and what they're all about, and how corrupt Hillary is, and the Clintons, and the Clinton Foundation, and all that. They just don't know, because they wouldn't be voting for Hillary and they wouldn't be voting for the Democratic Party, but they have. So that tells me that too many people in America are ignorant of what's going on. And if they stay ignorant, it can happen again in the next election and the next, where they allow they vote in the Democrats and the Democrats is corrupt. I mean, there's no guarantee that the Republicans Party isn't corrupt in part either. But at least right now we have a president that I think is fighting the good fight to bring awareness, take down the corruption in our government. I could take it to the whole next level of theory. Well, he's just one more bad guy, and the bad guys are fighting each other, and each bad guy group wants to be the top of the fucking heap.
Chill down, no. Rich in Politics will be a separate channel.
Okay. But yeah, but at least I think he's doing something to help. Theoretically, he's doing something to expose the dark side. But he keeps saying he's going to. There's this declassified information, and the good guys in Washington, D.C. Are going to be sharing this information to the American people about how corrupt Hillary is and Epstein and all that whole fucking thing. It hasn't happened yet, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Well, when, motherfucker? It's pretty frustrating. Yeah. So that's why I've been so cheerful and chipper about making all these political videos that I make all the time. That I wish I'd make and I don't make.
Good not shut up, huh?
Yeah, I'd be frustrated and I wouldn't be helping anybody. I'd just be expressing my frustration and anger. I think a lot of people could relate to it, but it might be a distraction to their spiritual work.
Bullshit.
I know.
Don't be distracting people.
Yeah. Hey, get out of here. You're distracting. Oh, sorry. Anything else you want to say before we
Well,
wrap it up?
the only thing that keeps playing in my head is that poem by Percy Shelley, or I don't remember his full name, but David Icke keeps mentioning him, and in his finishing speech, he's always saying this thing rise like lions after slumber in an unvanquishable number, shake your chains in earth like dew, which asleep at half and had fallen on you. Ye are many, they are few, and basically rise up and do your thing.
Yeah.
Because we have the power.
Yeah. I agree.
That would be the wrap up, I guess.
Yeah, rise up and do your thing. Just the best strategy I know of right now. And I'm not saying it's the best strategy. It's the best one I'm capable of and that I know of. And it's just when people wake up to what's going on, tell somebody. You don't have to be really accurate. You don't have to be, a newscaster about it or a journalist about it. But start sharing it with people. Then that's why I make videos like this. It's like somebody might listen to it and go, really? Because I wasn't going there, but let me check that out. The big one, 9/11, inside job. If you want to know about corruption in American politics and government, look into that, because that is such a thing. What you got, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's pretty easy. Now, it's harder to find the truth of it. There'll be a lot of bullshit to try and cover it up in America.
Has Trump said anything about it? Because I've heard him say he's gonna declassify all about JFK and 9/11, but
never fucking happened. When, bitch?
One of those days, maybe in the second run.
Yeah.
Second run.
Yeah. So, I researched the fuck out of that 9/11 thing. It's totally obvious. And American people have done nothing about it. We have done nothing about it. We haven't marched on fucking Congress. The government demanded the truth be outed. Right now, everybody's just watching fucking Congress argue about this bullshit impeachment thing. That's it. That's news. That's it. That's all you get. And California fucking fires. What?
What people have done is they're listening to American government, and now everyone is using phones, using Facebook, using all the things to get followed much more than before.
Yeah.
So it's quite a thing.
Yeah.
I really eventually maybe as a spiritual development that every person does for himself to get more awareness, know what's going on, and if not the masses, at least for one person.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing. You can live here and I don't care, I don't know, and I don't want to know. I'm just going to live my spiritual life, and you learn and grow, do your personal work, and you live here, you die here, you leave. You didn't go insane. You didn't get a cop of bad attitude. It's going to take you 1,000 years to shake. You know, it's like, yeah, it is what it is. There's a lot of plants that are fucked up. There's some that are worse than this.
Well, there's that, but also, like, be aware of what's going on. It's like, oh, you're gonna have some robbers come over at your place and mess you up. So you can be aware of the situation, you can do something about it, but you don't necessarily have to, like, play by the rules and, like, be in that chaos and fear all the time. Like, they're trying to, I guess, like, demonetize a lot of people on YouTube or shadow ban them and stuff, and, like, what it causes, like, just, like, massive fear and stopping people from doing what they love to do or want to do. And if we can at least be in control of ourselves and how we react to things, like, oh, okay, they might shadow ban my channel because, like, we're sharing right now a lot of information that might not be okay for the algorithm. I don't care. I'm fine with that. Like, I'm in peace, so it's like I don't have an emotional tone that will, like, feed the dark side and get the loosh off me, but more like, yeah, that can happen. I'm okay with it. And Zen zone,
Yeah.
We should probably wrap it up, though. Like, maybe ask people, like, what they think, like, what's the future of the planet and what's waiting for us and stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
There's a lot of people.
Go ask.
Well, I kind of, like,
You
they get it.
They get it, Rich.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what do you guys think? The future of the planet. And if it looks doom and gloomy, are we just fucked, or is there something that might possibly help us? We still have a chance to pull it out, pull it off. I think it's still a chance, but
Really?
yeah, it's pretty getting down there, man. Because if we can get the truth out, get the truth be known, and people believe it, that's enough. I mean, that's step one. And so we're still in that process of step one, of getting the truth out and people believing it.
Well, one thing for sure is, like, truth cannot be stopped, because, like, once a person is aware, you cannot go back. There's no turning back.
Yeah.
So you can share the information, and maybe they will ignore it or, like, try to stop it for a week or two, maybe a year, but that thing plays in their head until they get it. So no escape from the truth. At least not in my opinion.
Well, all right. Thank you for doing this with me.
You're welcome.
I got to vent and rant a little bit.
Finally.
Finally, yeah. Okay, thank you guys for watching. And
yeah, if you're interested in more videos, topics, share it. We might make a video about it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you now. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Hey, you gotta do it.
Yeah. It's a few days before Christmas, and I'm not into the another channel, a whole other thing about religion and stuff. But yeah, we'll talk more about that later.
Enjoy yourself, people.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.